I'd like to take this chance to apologize to absolutely nobody. It's time!
It's Sunday, December 5th, 2021. This is the Church of MMA podcast. My name is Tabor Cragen.
My name is Mason Knight. This is episode 101, Fawn versus Aldo recap. After that, we jump to some MMA news, and then we talk about the highly anticipated UFC 269 preview show. But before we do all that, Tabor, where do we begin?
Social media accounts, Mason, Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, at the Church of MMA. Guys, if you aren't following us already, make sure you go and do it. We're posting funny memes, clips of the show, trying to make you guys laugh. Hit us up. And if you need a link to all of our social media accounts, like TikTok, Gab, all that kind of stuff, et cetera, go to thechurchofmma.com. Not only does it give you links to our social media accounts, but it also gives you a link to our Teespring. Buy yourself some church merch, a face mask, a mug, cups, T-shirts. We're adding stuff every single day, and more stuff are coming real soon. And, of course, our Patreon, guys. We're posting exclusive vlogs, exclusive second service podcasts, exclusive extended call-in shows. It's going to be a lot of fun there. Guys, $5 a month gives you access to everything. Eventually, when we get more Patreons, we might start making some more tiers and giving even more exclusive stuff to the higher tiers. And if you join the Patreon, you are immediately a disciple of the church. And if you join the Patreon and you're a day one guy, a guy that shows up in the chat, you will be... What's it called?
Sainted.
What is continuated or I don't know,
know
coronated, whatever the fuck it
something
is.
like
Yeah,
that.
you
I'm
become a
not a
saint.
scientist.
You're a saint of the Church of MMA. You also get saint status on our Discord server. Very last thing we have to show. Guys, we run our call-in shows through Discord. It's a fantastic platform. We have a couple different chats in our Discord right now. So, throughout the week, you can chat the shit with us. You could post some funny memes. It's a lot of fun. Join the Discord server. It is in the chat right now. I just dropped the link. That link will not expire. There's also links on our social media accounts of the Discord, on our community page here on YouTube. So, guys, join the Discord. And we had a lot of fun because last night we did a fight companion for Jose Aldo, Rob Font.
Yes, we did, yeah.
And that was our inaugural call-in show after the fight companions. We had Ant W was in the chat. He called in. Cosmo Reverb, our very first call-in guy, called in as well. And even your little brother Logan called in. Shout out to everybody that called in last night. That was so much fun.
Well, it was one of the most fun times we had on a fight companion. Shout out to the Mantuary podcast, Michael and Zach Falk showing up on the podcast. What a fun time. They texted me afterwards. They said they had a blast, and so did we. We appreciate everyone with the Super Chats. We had a fun time with the Super Chat wheel, the brand new thing we brought to this show. And it was awesome. So shout out to every single one of you guys. Thank you.
Absolutely. Mantuary, guys. Follow them. I'm going to drop their link to their Apple Podcasts in the chat as well. Go and show them some love, guys. We had an absolute fucking blast last night. And we got to talk about the Super Chat wheel.
Let's do it.
We got to talk about the Super Chat wheel. That was our inaugural Super Chat wheel fight companion. That is something we will be doing consistently. Oh, my goodness. I'm not going to lie, Mason. I got way too fucked up.
Yeah, you did. Unfortunately, Tabor, you had a rough go at it. We only have a double spin on one of the 14 slides on that wheel. Somehow you managed to get it 3 or 4 times consecutively, so you had a lot of spins to do. And I got a mini wheel spin as well. And the mini wheel, obviously, you can see it in the back right over there. It's got even worse punishments on it. But a great idea and a lot of fun, man. So, yeah.
Absolutely. Guys, we will be doing that every fight companion. It was so much fun. The wax strips.
Yeah, guys, go check out the vlog. We're going to typically do our vlogs for Patreon exclusive content, but we dropped our first official vlog on YouTube, so you guys can kind of get a sense of what our vlogs are going to be all about, and it's hilarious. I mean, it's 13 minutes, and we had a good time. We were laughing throughout, doing all the crazy super chat stuff. It was awesome, man. So go check that out. Smash that like button. Subscribe to the channel. And show it to your friends, too, man. If you got friends who love MMA, love the UFC, and want something different. We're the number one Fight Fan podcast, but we also like to have a good time during the Fight Companion. And then we come back the next day in the studio, and we're all business here. No super chat wheel, no funny business. We're here to break down the card and to preview the next card coming up the next week. So.
Yeah, so shout out to everybody that donated last night. Guys, you don't understand how much that helps this show grow. It all goes to hookers and cocaine. No, I'm just joking. It all goes back into the show. Guys, we're looking to buy some 4K cameras here soon. We want to up the product quality here we're giving out. The content's good, but it can be better, and all of those donations help out so much, guys. So if you haven't already, make sure you smash this like button as well and subscribe to the channel if you're new here. And shout out to Kevin, already in the chat. Aldo versus TJ. Let's get into that. So recap show. Rob Font, Jose Aldo, main event. Oh, my goodness. Oh, my goodness. I mean, obviously, we did not expect that.
No, I especially, obviously we talked about it a lot in episode 100, our preview show for this card coming up. And the biggest thing that we talked about, Tabor, was can Aldo go 5 hard rounds? And we've seen it historically that he falters in those championship rounds, 4 and 5. But, man, he was tired. You could tell in that 5th round especially he was tired, but he was still able to take Rob Font down, utilize that ground game, perfected it, almost submitted Rob Font deep into the 5th round. Jose Aldo looked awesome, man. And that was our only concern. We know who Jose Aldo is. We know he's the former featherweight champ. We know he's always been a top 5 guy in any division that he fights in, now in the bantamweight division. It's such an impressive performance. Rob Font really did try that first round. I thought Rob won it. I know there's some people say that Jose could have won all 5, and I'm fine with that. It was
the judges' scorecard, 2 of those judges had it 50-45.
And that's fine. I'm okay with that because no matter what, you knew Jose Aldo won that fight. But Rob in my opinion, looked really good that first round, and I was like, man, he could cause some problems for Jose Aldo. The pace Font put on in that first round, I knew what his game plan was coming out right away. Get Jose tired so you can start winning rounds 3, 4, and 5. Mm-hmm. But Aldo was on a whole nother playing field, man. His cardio held up. He looked great. He was throwing those leg kicks, his boxing.
Combinations, dude. The body shots. Are you fucking kidding me?
Well, how about this? We always talk about Rob Font's jab. Let's put some respect on Jose Aldo. That jab was landing for him all night, man. And the combinations he was putting together, what a great fight. What a great fight night, man. From top to bottom, this card was electric and a lot of fun, man. I rewatched the whole card this morning. I know you did as well. It's, again, you get towards the end of the year and you have incredible cards like this. And this card leading up to maybe one of the most hyped cards of the year. I mean, could you ask for anything better?
No, it was fantastic. I mean, other than the last few weeks we just had. Shit like the Cater Holloway, UFC 267, UFC 268 were awesome. I mean, this week, this little stretch right here is going to be fucking fantastic as well. But to keep it on Rob Font, Jose Aldo, dude, Jose was getting cracked with clean shots, and we all know Font's power. We know Font's jab. And he was winning some of those exchanges in the first round, but that first round was very tightly contested. So I kind of agree with the judges that, I mean, it's hard to say because he knocked Font down pretty late in that first. So was that enough to steal that round? I don't know. I'd hate to be a judge because that was a very close round up until then. But it was awesome, dude. And from then on, it was all Jose Aldo. He was winning every boxing exchange. He had Font hurt multiple times in every round. He almost finished Font multiple times. Yep. It was crazy to see, and that power translates to 135. I know we say that a lot, and Jose is getting in these technical chess matches with these guys, but that power showed out last night, bro. The Absolutely. Body shots where he was ripping to Font was insane.
And also another thing with Jose Aldo here, it as you just kind of brought up, it was a more calculated Jose Aldo. And I know historically Jose is calculated, but what he does is sometimes he'll empty that gas tank just a little too soon. You saw that against Petr Yan, right? He was trying to, I don't care what anyone says, man, he was trying to finish Petr Yan into that 3rd round, man. You could tell because he was throwing a lot of volume in that round and then got tired in 4 and 5. I thought he did a really good job of maintaining his gas tank, picking his shots, especially in that first round. Again, he was moving out of the way of a lot of those shots. Rob was landing, but he conserved his cardio. And this is the Jose Aldo, man. I mean, what do we do next now with Jose?
It's got to be TJ Dillashaw. Shout out to Kevin Weeks in the chat for bringing that up. It's got to be TJ Dillashaw, dude. It's got to be a number one contender fight. He dominated a guy that people were saying this guy could contend with a Petr Yan. This guy has everything he needs to beat a Petr Yan. But I got to caveat this. Was this the Rob Font that showed up against Cody Garbrandt, or was this maybe a little bit of a, hey, every time I get to this matchup, I fail, and I need to fucking go out there and finish Jose, put a stamp on it, because he was coming out very aggressive there.
Yeah. And again, this has historically been the story of Rob Font. He looks so impressive. He strings together a couple wins, and then he just falls short when that number one contender fight happens. Because here's the thing. It's a little different than Jose Aldo. Jose Aldo won this fight, but if he was going to win this fight, he probably would have had to fight one more time because Petr Yan, in that matchup, he had already fought for the belt. Rob Font was in a different position. I think both these fighters were in different positions. I think if Rob Font would have went out there and beat a legend like Jose Aldo, I think he very well could have been next in line, or at least had a better chance of being next in line after maybe TJ Dillashaw getting a shot. But I think now you have to do Jose Aldo, TJ Dillashaw. They're both legends of this sport, man, and that's a huge fight. That's going to get even casuals to turn their head and go, oh, that's on this card? Sign me up.
That's a 5-round co-main event of a pay-per-view. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like that's what that needs to be. Or if they make it 3 rounds, a credit to fucking Aldo. If I was Aldo, I'd be wanting 3 rounds with that fight.
Yes.
But that's a very fucking competitive fight. If that Jose Aldo that showed up last night shows up against TJ Dillashaw, I might pick him in that fight.
Yeah. I think the only caveat to that is if TJ Dillashaw can implement that ground game, exhaust Jose Aldo on the ground, and just suffocate him, I think he does got a legitimate shot, but TJ's got to really utilize that. He's got to use that wrestling. He's got to take Jose down and get him exhausted. But I think them on the feet, man, that's very competitive, and I might even give Aldo the edge there.
Yeah, mate, it's a tough one, dude, because if that's the matchup that I think everyone wants to see right now, it has to be. I mean, who knows when the real champ, Aljamain Sterling, comes back with fucking this Yan fight. Shout out to Kevin. Yan versus Sterling is going to be a hunting season for Yan, and shout out to Bruce Brobtrotter as well in the chat. Rob Font just fell down to Comic Sans level. I think that's a font. Is that a font?
Yeah, it is. Yeah.
That's a good one. It's a good one, dude.
That's like the most common one everyone uses.
That's a good one, dude. Bruce Bob Trotter again. Font has to work his way back up to Tynes through Roman, but he hasn't. But he just isn't Helvicta level and never will be, period. Oh, my goodness. The puns are great, brother.
The puns are coming in.
Yeah, man, I'm very excited for the future of this bantamweight division. I don't know what you do with Rob Font after this, but the Petr Yan Sterling situation, who knows really when this fight is even going to be made? Who knows when TJ even comes back, because he is coming off I think it was a knee surgery he had right after that Corey Sandhagen fight.
Yep.
And Sterling might just keep fucking pussyfooting around, dropping out and shit.
So
I don't know. What's more realistic, that Sterling gets cut or that Sterling in this Yan fight actually happen?
Well, okay, so I definitely don't think Sterling's going to get cut. That's crazy for the UFC to cut a champion, even if it's a paper champion. That's wild. But this is the question I want to pose to you. If you are the UFC and you have this very, very competitive bantamweight division.
Did I say cut or stripped?
Yeah, no, you said cut.
Okay, I meant stripped.
Okay.
Sorry, my bad.
I thought that was wild that you were
from
saying
the UFC
that.
just like, get rid of them.
What?
Yeah, my bad. I'm brain farting.
Okay, stripped. Yeah,
stripped. My bad. That's what I meant.
So that's actually the question that I wanted to bring up. So now that we're on the same page, you confused me there. I was like, no, but
yeah.
So with him being stripped, what is, if you're the UFC right now and how competitive this bantamweight division is, what is the deadline for that fight to happen before inevitably you just say, okay, Petr Yan's the champ, Aljamain Sterling still can't come back and fight? My deadline, May. That's my deadline. That's 4 or 5 months. So in 2 or 3 months, you got to heal up, have an 8-week training camp or 12-week, whatever, and then we got to be ready in May. Because any longer than that is a travesty to this bantamweight division, and especially with the controversy and everything going on, Aljamain Sterling having to pull out again. I know it's not necessarily his fault. He's dealing with injuries. That's fine. But we got to keep this bantamweight division rolling. And I think May, and if he doesn't, you strip it, give it to Petr Yan, and maybe you do the TJ Dillashaw matchup. Or if Jose and TJ can fight soon, then you do that one for number one contender.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's the only fight to make for the number one contender right now.
I think here's the only caveat to that, okay? TJ Dillashaw, big name, obviously beat Corey Sandhagen, very close fight. You could do that. And then Aldo versus Sandhagen for number one contender. That is also something. If
Sterling
gets stripped, yeah.
Okay, yes, because I'm pretty sure TJ was saying he's not going to take a fight anytime soon. He's waiting for the belt. Plus, he got the surgery and all that, so who knows if he's even back to training yet? Who knows when he's going to recover there? It's interesting. It's very interesting. I'm going to pull up the rankings really quick. I mean, that's it. Jose's not going to fight Merab.
No, absolutely
as much as I'd
not.
love to see that fight, he's not going to take it.
Well, and why after beating number 4 too?
Yeah, you know what the fight to make for Merab might be now? Either like a Corey Sandhagen or Rob Font.
I like either one of those.
Coming off that loss, yeah.
And we're Merab dick riders on this podcast. He deserves a guy in front of him. Absolutely. He deserves a guy in front of him. You know, after that Marlon Moraes win, he was on skates, but Merab just never gives up. He comes back and beats the former champion. In a very impressive outing. You got to give him a guy ahead of him. Finally, he gets that opportunity. I think Corey Sandhagen and Rob Font make 100% sense.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. So, I guess
it is what it is.
I'm just very excited for this, dude. I want Sterling to take this fucking fight already. Let's get this shit over with. Let's stop fucking up this whole division because it is a log jam right now.
It is.
It's a fucking log jam, dude. And this guy, like, he's the worst guy that you'd want jamming it up. Like, there's no one else in this division right now that I would say. Let me reword this. He's the only guy in this division right now that I would say doesn't deserve to log jam it.
Yeah.
You know, like if it was a TJ Dillashaw as the champion and he won it legitimately, or even Jan, say Jan got hurt. Okay, let's log jam it that way. But with this guy, it just sucks for the rest of the bantamweights, dude. It really does.
And that fight feels like it was a lifetime ago, too.
Yes.
You know?
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. So do you just want to go to our church coin picks?
Yeah, let's do it. For me, I put 1,000 on Font. You know, again, keep going back to it. I thought Font would win by decision. Jose Aldo proved me wrong. I love to see it, though. I am not mad about losing this church coin, but I put 1,000 on Font and lost.
Yeah, I put 5,000 on Font and lost that, but,
It is what it is.
All right. Let's move on to the co-main event of the evening. Brad Riddell, Rafael Fiziev. Oh, my goodness.
Fireworks.
Fireworks. Like
Very
the most
technical, too.
Extremely technical chess match, dude. And that's why they were so hesitant. That's why they were, trading in the pockets easily. Like, they didn't want to go wild because they were both hitting each other with huge fucking counter shots.
Huge.
The chins on both of these men are incredible. And then the spinning heel kick at the end in the third round. That is why they were so hesitant. That is why it was such a technical chess match, because they knew at any moment one of these strikes could put them away. The body kicks they were both hitting each other with. Oh my goodness, dude. Some of the most technical Muay Thai you're ever going to see in this lightweight division right now. These two might be the best two Muay Thai practitioners right now. Both of them former coaches at Tiger Muay Thai. I believe Fiziev is the coach right now at Tiger Muay Thai for their Muay Thai coach. So, I mean, it's very high level, very, very high level. Yeah. And for both these guys to be at the lower end of the rankings, this lightweight division is fucking insane, dude.
And not to go off on too much of a tangent, but what does this say about how good Bobby Green actually is?
Yes.
Right? I mean, really. To go 3 rounds with Fiziev, some people saying that he won, and then to dismantle Al Quinta in his last fight the way that he did. Bobby Green should be in the mix here, real close to a top 15. But to go back to Brad Riddell and Rafael Fiziev here, what the first 2 rounds were great. I also had Fiziev winning those 2 rounds.
Yeah,
very close.
Very close. It was super close because some of the counter shots Riddell was blasting Fiziev with really kept Fiziev both men respected each other's power.
Yeah,
because it was very apparent that either man could finish each other.
I felt though it was a different Riddell that we typically see. I feel like again, as you brought up, they were really worried about the big shots coming from each other, but I felt Riddell was more timid and more cautious than Fiziev. I felt like Fiziev was pressing the pace. He was putting together more combinations, and he was firing at will, where Riddell was a little bit more hesitant, more calculated. But at the end of the day, man, that spinning heel kick was beautiful, perfectly timed, hit right on the button, and that's a standing KO, essentially. In my opinion, that's a standing KO, because as soon as that landed, you could see Riddell's eyes roll in the back of his head, and he was standing there, but he basically put his hands up like, I have no fucking idea where I'm at.
Dude, oh yeah, and a lot of people were giving shit for Herb. Like, what are you doing stopping that? Nope. Oh my God, early stop. It's like, dude, he was done. He was done, and he literally, it almost looked like he was like, okay, I give up. But I don't think that's what happened. I think that was just his body just doing some fucking ghost movements because he was not there. Yes. He was not there.
But again, we have to give credit to the refs. Everyone's always on Herb Dean's ass, when he fucks up. But again, let's give him credit where credit is due. That was a great stoppage. Yeah. And I think, you know, with him being the vet that he is as a referee, I don't see other guys necessarily making that stop that fast and doing it and being able to see that a fighter is compromised and not able to defend himself. Because Fiziev is, again, he's so powerful that Riddell was done. He could have fell, and then Fiziev could have landed 4 or 5 huge fucking shots and really like concussed Riddell, really made him, you know, have to take a 6-month suspension. So shout out to Herb Dean. Great stoppage in my personal opinion.
Yeah, absolutely. I have nothing bad to say about that stoppage. It was perfect. It was beautiful. The kick was even better, dude. Like he almost landed that in the first two. Remember he did that crazy head kick to spin heel kick, almost landed. And Riddell went, whoo, oh my, and started talking shit too. He's like, yeah, you ain't going to land that old motherfucker, but he did at the end.
Yes, he did.
Oh my goodness. What a great fight. I don't think Brad Riddell loses too much stock with this fight, man. He can't. He can't. Like that, especially with Fiziev. Fiziev has so much fucking hype behind him right now. I cannot wait for both of these men's future. I mean, I'd take both these men over McGregor right now.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. Easily. Yeah, I'd love to see Fiziev versus McGregor. Mm-hmm. I'd love to see that matchup. Mm-hmm. And honestly, I edge it to Fiziev, but absolutely. I'm kind of biased towards Conor these days. So
absolutely. No, I agree with
you.
Don't
take my word for it.
I agree with you, and I'm trying to be as unbiased as possible. I agree with you. I think Fiziev outstrikes him.
Yeah.
Maybe even Riddell. So one thing I was kind of shocked to see from your Riddell side, especially, is that there wasn't as many takedown attempts. He did have a good, well-timed one there and did take Fiziev down, but Fiziev got right back up to his feet, and even Riddell was like, okay, I just give up on this, and then the finish came after that. So let's shout out to Riddell, because I do believe if he would have mixed it up a little bit more, he probably would have found more success.
Yeah. So as you just brought up, you know, Brad Riddell's, we don't believe his stock has dropped that much. Still deserves to be in this top 15 in the mix here. Brad Riddell was 12 before this fight. Rafael Fiziev was 14. What do you see next for Rafael Fiziev? What's the matchup you like? One name screams off this page. I don't know if he has a fight yet or not. But I would absolutely fucking love to see him against Diego Ferreira.
Ooh, yes. Yes.
And remember, he's coming off two losses to Dariush and Gillespie. So I think that'd be a really good matchup for Fiziev as well. And a guy ahead of him. Yeah. You know, at number 11.
Yeah, I almost wonder if Fiziev, because, I mean, he did just beat number 12. Is it almost time for a top 10 matchup? This is the one that I would love to see, but I don't think it's going to happen because I believe he's going to move back down to 145. But Dan Hooker, him versus Dan Hooker, be a fantastic striking matchup. Dan Hooker just did a test weight cut to 145, so I think he's moving back down crazy, dude. Like, what the fuck?
I kind of like Dan Hooker at featherweight, though. You know, that's what we were saying about Jose Aldo. We're like, you're crazy. You're not going to be able to compete in. I remember when that news dropped. No, I think you could compete,
but like, fuck, man, you're going to kill yourself to get back down there.
Maybe not compete. Compete's the wrong word, but you're going to kill yourself, and you're gonna literally screw yourself with cardio and everything, dropping that much weight. But I think if Dan Hooker does it right, I think he'd be great at featherweight. Mm-hmm. But another name, and obviously with his last win, I like Gregor Gillespie too.
Yes, I was going to bring that up. I want to test Fiziev's ground game.
Yeah.
We just see him getting in these firefights, these technical chess matches on the feet. I want to see if an elite wrestler can take this man down and hold him down, because on the feet, I give that edge to Fiziev all fucking day. Look at what Kevin Lee did. What do you think Fiziev's going to do to Gillespie on the feet? But Gillespie's no fucking joke. We have to give that man respect, especially on the ground. Like, this man is an elite wrestler in this division, so I'm very excited. Any of those matchups are fantastic.
Yeah, and if you do that matchup with Gillespie's 14-1. You know, he did lose to Kevin Lee in that crazy knockout, but then beat Diego Ferreira. I think the winner of that gets a top 6. I mean, Rafael Dos Anjos, you know, Dan Hooker is at 8 right now, or Tony Ferguson at 7. The winner takes on that. Like, I really like that matchup. That would be one that would scream off the page for me, and I'd get excited for that.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Let's move on to Church Coin picks. So I put 2,000 Church Coin on Fiziev. Give me a nice little return of 1,739 Church Coin. And you put 5,000 Church Coin on Riddell there.
Yep, lost that one.
We're going to get into totals here at the end, guys. Don't worry.
Oh, he can't wait.
Let's move on to the next fight. Jimmy Crute and Jamal Hill, the first round KO. This was a wild fight for the 45 seconds we had it. Oh my goodness, Hill has got sneaky fucking power, dude. Like, people talk about how skinny this man is, how he looks kind of like a 185er out there, but he's got fantastic kickboxing ability, fantastic counter strikes, a fantastic footwork as well. This is a legitimate contender in this light heavyweight division. Yes, he ran into Paul Krieg, but That is Paul Krieg. So it is what it is.
It is what it is.
You know, his ground game might be his kryptonite. Like, you know, we should test that a little more before I get too excited on Hill, because like the upper echelon of this light heavyweight division, a lot of these guys can wrestle very fucking well.
Yeah. And, you know, now Jimmy Crute, that's 2 straight losses. You know, he had that against Anthony Lionheart-Smith. He lost that fight. And now this quick knockout against Jamal Hill. It's a little upsetting for Jimmy Crute. He's set back a little bit, but he's young. I really do feel like he'll bounce back, and I still think is a top 15 guy. However, let's talk about the future of Jamal Hill here after that fast knockout. The name that I really would love to see, okay, because he already fought Paul Craig. Didn't go well for him, but if you want to stand and bang fight, give me Johnny Walker.
Yes, dude, we're on the same
Hill.
page.
Yeah.
We're on the same. That's exactly the name I was going to bring up, because Johnny's on a skid, man. He hasn't really found a whole lot of success as of late. And, bro, that is a fucking fantastic fight right there. On the feet, both of them are very electric. The fucking unorthodox, crazy striking of Johnny Walker versus the technical kickboxing ability and footwork of Jamal Hill. That's the only matchup I want to see right now. I absolutely 100% agree with you there.
Well,
Shout out to Aunt W in the chat. Most face damage I've ever seen in a fight that didn't even last a minute. Crute looked like he got in a head-on car crash, bro. That eye was crazy. It swelled up fast, really fucking fast.
Vicious too, man.
Some people were even saying that stoppage is kind of bullshit. I disagree.
Oh, that's
man.
ridiculous.
He fucking dropped him big.
That's ridiculous.
Yeah.
Dude, he was out. Come on. That's dumb.
It was over.
Some people just want to complain about shit.
Yeah. So what do we, before we move on, what do we do with Jimmy Crute now? Because, you know, he did just lose a top 15 matchup here. I mean, do we give him an unranked guy to see if he could stay in this top 15?
It's one of those guys who's super young. Again, he's a young fighter. I think he will bounce back, and I don't mind giving him a guy under top 15. You could also do Ian Cutelaba at 15. I think that would also be a good matchup for him, but I don't mind an unranked guy at this point. He's young. He's got plenty of time. Maybe give him a bounce back fight, and maybe he'll sit at 15, take an unranked guy.
Yeah, that's a great take right there. I absolutely 100% agree. All right, so let's move on to Church Coin pick. I put 1,000 on Hill, and that gave me a return of 1,550. Church Coin. He was an underdog in this matchup.
Yes, he was.
Yeah.
I put 1,900 on Crute and lost that one.
Yeah, Aunt W, shout out to you, my guy. Crute versus Span. That is also a fantastic matchup that I would absolutely love to see as well. Superman, Span. I mean, both those guys are going to bang.
Crute
Someone's going to sleep.
Span. Didn't that just...
Did they already fight?
Oh, no. I'm thinking of Johnny Walker. Never mind.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
Yeah. No, that's a great fight as well.
Yeah,
I agree with you there, Ant. Let's move on to the next fight. Clay Guida versus Leonardo Santos. The heart of Clay Guida.
Let's go, Clay Guida. Are you kidding me? This man's been around,
crazy.
since the dinosaur age, since the extinction of the dinosaurs, and he's still winning fights. He's got a heart of a champion, the eye of the tiger, the king of kings. Are you kidding me or what?
Bro, I can't believe he didn't go to sleep. He almost got finished early in the first and then was eating knees in the clinch, then got away, survived, and then in the second round to end up on top and just start smashing Santos. Did Santos gas in that first round going for the finish? That's a big question, right?
Yes, unquestionably, he blew everything out of the gas tank. He had nothing to give in that second round. But again, that's a testament to just how tough Clay Guida is at his old age. And he's not that old. I mean, he's going to turn 40 here in a day or two. But again, it's so impressive, man. The career Clay Guida's had, all the great wars he's been in, and to take the damage in the first round like that. As you said, getting hit with huge shots, getting hit with huge knees, multiple shots to the body. I mean, a lot of people, especially at his age, cannot take that damage. But this is a guy who just pushes through and will do anything to win. And to get that sub in the second round after getting smacked in the first, it's just so impressive. Shout out to Clay Guida, man. I fucking love that guy, dude.
Yeah, I fucking love it.
Clay.
I love it. The post-fight interview was awesome as well. Give so much love and respect to not only his family, but everybody that's been with him throughout his career. I don't think this guy's done. I don't think he's done, dude. I think he's going to fight maybe 3 or 4 more times, maybe even more.
And
even more, man.
I'm fine with it.
Because he's competitive.
Exactly. Obviously, don't give him a top 10 guy or anything like that, but let him have these fights.
Yeah.
Because they're always fun. This one, I think I freaked out maybe the most, maybe not, but I freaked out, had a good time. I was yelling Clay Guida. This guy has over 50 professional fights. He has 55 professional fights in his career. Can you believe that?
I know.
That's insane. And he's still going, man. But, shout out to Clay Guida, man. That was the Carpenter. That was just an incredible outing, especially in that second round. So,
Yeah, absolutely. Ant W. Guida is one of those few guys whose durability has held up as he's gotten older. Yeah. You'd think his chin would be compromised at some point, but no, it hasn't happened yet.
Especially the wars, man. Clay Guida's been in wars, absolute wars. Diego Sanchez comes to mind right away, which was inducted into the UFC Hall of Fame. Like, he still got it. Still
fucking got it, bro. I love it. I love it as well. Neither of us took Guida. Oh, you did actually.
No, I took Guida. Yeah. That was like the one win that I had, so that's cool.
Absolutely.
I put 1,000. I think I put 1,000 on Clay Guida. Yes, I did. Yeah, 1,000 on Guida and got 1,600 return on that.
Yeah, and I put it on Santos. I figured eventually Guida would be done. And it almost came in the first, man. It almost came in the first, and I would have been like, yeah, he's over. He's done. Get him out of there. And don't cut him, but maybe it's time for Dana to have these conversations with him. And I was fucking so wrong, dude. Yeah. I was so wrong. Shout out to Ant W. Him, DC, and Romero are the only ones I can think of that didn't lose their chins as they got to 40. Yeah. Yep.
Very true.
Very fucking true. All right, let's move on to the next fight. Brennan Allen and Chris Curtis. This was a great fight.
For as long as it lasted, yes, it was.
This was a great fight. And then
not a good night for the mullets.
No, not a good night for the mullets, man. I mean, we were 0-2 in the mullets. We were making so many jokes about the mullets in the fight companion. That was a lot of fun. But Brennan Allen, man, I mean, he looked pretty good in the first, but that Chris Curtis, dude, he's got so much fucking power. You get touched on the chin with one of those shots, man, it could put probably anybody to sleep.
Well, yeah, and then to finish with those knees, too. Those knees were vicious. They were coming with a lot of steam, a lot of malice, and it was just too much for Brennan Allen. And, people may have had a problem with that stoppage, but you saw Allen, fall back with his arms. I mean, he was conscious, but that fight, it was a wrap, Jack. That fight was over. He wasn't going to escape Chris Curtis. And, I believe, wasn't Curtis a heavy underdog in this fight, too?
He was a heavy underdog. I mean, Brendan Allen came in at a minus 340 at the time we made our picks, bro.
Wild. So shout out to Chris Curtis getting it done. A very impressive performance.
Absolutely. It was fucking awesome to see. And so I put 1,000 church coin on Allen, and I lost that one there.
Yeah, I put 100 church coin on Allen, and I lost that one.
I don't know why, but for some reason I said Allen
29.
Won. Yeah, that's not right. That's not right
as well.
Yeah, we fucked up.
Wow, I don't get 29 church coin.
This was the only fight I didn't rewatch, man. Alex Moreno, Mickey Gall.
I
want to take this one? I didn't want to watch this one.
So I rewatched this one. Wow. Okay, I want to say something on Mickey Gall, okay? I do see that, yes, he did lose this fight. He got dominated. He lost all 3 rounds. But Mickey Gall is trying to evolve his game, and I see his striking getting better. I just feel like Alex Moreno is one of those guys that he's just underrated, and people don't appreciate him as they should. Alex Moreno is a very good fighter. He's a well-rounded fighter. He can beat you on the feet. He can beat you. He can submit you. He looked great against Cowboy. Looked awesome against Mickey Gall and absolutely just pieced Gall together for 3 straight rounds. But, again, I saw the evolution in Mickey Gall's game, man. His striking looked good. He was putting together combinations. He was trying to fire back and hit Moreno, but it was just too much. Alex was too slick in the pocket, man, and landing more combinations, looking better, and, got the job done pretty decisively, 30-27 on all 3 judges' scorecards. So shout out to Moreno, man. He's on a bit of a win streak here.
Yeah, congratulations to him. We did not pick this fight for Church Coin, so let's get into our Church Coin totals real quick. As it all said and done, I lost about 3,000 church coin, and my new total is at 21,776. And Mason, you lost about 7,000 church coin, about 6,000.
Yeah, guys, it's about over for this year. And then next, so we'll explain the church coin again. If you're a Patreon subscriber, we're going to pick 1 Patreon a month. You're going to pick 3 fight nights and a pay-per-view with us, and the belt will be changing every single month. The belt's still being made. It's still getting processed. But as soon as it's here next year, we're going to start doing that. And if you are a patron and you beat me or Tabor, your belt will be hung up with your YouTube Patreon name. You will be the champ, and you'll have an opportunity to come back and defend that belt. And you will get an exclusive, one-of-a-kind T-shirt that says Church Coin Champ with you holding up the belt. I mean, it won't be you. It'll be like a fighter holding up a belt. But those are exclusive. You can only get that shirt if you win the belt. So we'll be sending that to people who beat us month in, month out. But it'll be fun. The belt will change, a few times a year. We'll have a few defenses, I'm assuming. But
I'm defending this fucking starting 2022. Just you watch. We're never giving you a fucking T-shirt because I'm going to win every time.
I love it. I love the competitive nature of Tabor. In a true underdog story here, Tabor came from the slums of Church Coin. At one point, he was indebted with Church Coin. But you know what, guys? Moral of the story, never give up. Never give up on your dreams. Never give up on it, Because, damn, dude, he just came back and he fucking smoked me. I don't get it. I don't get it. 10 months, I'm up. I had a huge lead at one point, 15, 20,000 Church Coin. But Tabor does what he does often, the same as last year. And, he'll be the champ this year because I ain't got shit to work with.
It is what it is.
Yeah, it is what it is. Your new total right now is 2,729 Church Coin. So That's what you have to bet with for this next week.
Yeah.
Unless, we'll talk about this come preview show, unless we do a little thing here, which I'm willing to do. But we'll get into that after our MMA news segment. All right, the first little bit of MMA news. This one was a real shock to me. I did not see this coming. You, on the other hand, said you did see it coming, which, it is what it is, I guess. Some people were like, yeah, okay, yeah, I see it happening. He did have the USADA stuff, but let's get into it. Kevin Lee was cut from the UFC. Apparently, he didn't even know that he was cut. He got an email from some random person. It wasn't Hunter Campbell or Sean Shelby. And said, hey, you're out. And then he found out on Twitter essentially 2 minutes later. So he felt pretty disrespected by that, which is understandable, I guess. But, he did kind of just get suspended by USADA for an extended period of time because he did not disclose that he got diagnosed with ADHD and was taking Ritalin or was it Adderall? It was one of them. I think it was Ritalin. Yeah. And because of that, he popped. Yep. So a little unfortunate there, but at the same time, kind of unprofessional. You have to disclose.
You got to disclose that stuff. And Kevin Lee, I don't know. I feel like at one point we really thought he was going to contend. I remember him being on the Joe Rogan Experience 3 or 4 years ago, talking about his career and everything. And I don't want to say an immaturity problem, but there was something in the way that he always talked about fighting and. I don't know, man.
He wasn't humble at all.
Yeah, he wasn't humble, and he's had great moments in the UFC though. I remember that New York card when he knocked out Gillespie. It was phenomenal. Perfectly timed. He's a good fighter, but again, it's just the spottiness, obviously the USADA problems, and then just not fighting very often. So I kind of saw the writing on the wall with Kevin Lee, and I figured he'd either get cut or might have one more fight, but it kind of...
It is what it is.
It is what it is, it happens,
Yeah, it's unfortunate for my guy because I did like Kevin Lee, but you know what? Hopefully this does humble him because, he would just, he'd lose fights and then he'd be like, I'm better than that guy, this and that. Do you think I really deserve to lose that fight? And it's like, bro, come on, can we just stop, please? Can we just stop? But
I think what's next for Kevin Lee is probably bare knuckle boxing, or as you said, could contend for the Bellator belt. But I guess Bellator didn't even offer him anything.
Really?
Yeah, that's what I heard.
That's interesting because he could definitely contend for that lightweight belt. I can't think of a whole lot of lightweights in Bellator right now other than Patricio and
right.
If what's the guy's name? The guy that just beat Patricio at featherweight. He's a new champ.
Yeah.
God, I can't remember his name. Whatever. I don't know. He can move up to lightweight and do pretty well as well. Ant W. Kevin Lee has self-awareness problem. You have to be able to accept failure to build yourself back up. Absolutely. He just wasn't humbling himself, and he'd put stuff out because Khabib would react to one of his losses and say, "Hey, you need to humble yourself, brother.
Yeah,
humble yourself." And then he goes, "Oh, I'm never gonna be humble. I'm never gonna be humble. I'm me." And it's like, come on, bro. It's not even fucking Kevin, not even Kevin Holland acts like this, man.
Right? And again, it's a likability. It's a likability.
You like that one? You like
Devin's
that
giving us the look over there, shut it, boy. But I don't know, man. It's just a likability factor too. You got to have your bosses like you. Even if you're putting on a shtick and stuff, like Colby Covington does, he puts on this shtick that he does, but you got to get along with the boss, and you got to be somewhat likable. And I think that was probably his biggest problem.
Absolutely, absolutely agree with that. We'll end it on this. Ant W. Bellator doesn't want him. I see him going to PFL. Yeah, and that's a great organization as well. You got the chance to win $1 million. You win that tournament. So
hell yeah,
absolutely,
life-changing money.
Absolutely. All right, let's move on to other MMA news. I'm going to throw us a curveball real quick. This was not in our notes, but we got to react to it. John Jones was on Twitter, of course.
Really?
My balls was hot.
Oh, fuck. I fucked that one up. He deserves a fart button for this. I'm going to pull it up right now, these tweets. He was taking huge shots at his former coach, Mike Winkeljohn. I'm going to read these right now. All right. Coach Wink gets on national TV and tells the world he wants the best for me, and then behind the scenes harassing other coaches for continuing to work with me. What a miserable bastard. This dude somehow found a way to run away every single one of Greg's fighters. I can't think of Jackson's veteran that still talks with this asshole. I didn't leave the team because I couldn't handle the punishment. I left the gym because I wasn't training with Wink anymore anyways. This man hasn't taught new students a new technique since I met him. What type of friend gets on national TV and airs his brother's dirty laundry? That was his opportunity that was just his opportunity to take the moral high ground over someone who trusts in him. He didn't give two shits about what actually happened that night. Anything. That doesn't make any sense, John. Anything for some publicity, I guess. Okay. If I was such a monster, he wouldn't still be trying to monetize off of me being a former student there. There's a John Jones poster in almost every wall of that building. Just don't go on TV and pretend to give a shit about someone who has made you so much money over the years, given you so many world championships, and then behind closed doors secretly try to crush them. Real douchebag move, Mike. Wink. Suspending me from the team changed absolutely nothing for me. I'm still working with the same exact coaches on the same exact schedule we have been on over the last 2 years. We literally had a convicted rapist training on the team for years, and now all of a sudden he has morals? Get out of here.
Wow, that's a lot to unpack.
He went off on Winkeljohn.
But again, it's kind of the thing where, just take accountability. Why is it, do you think that John Winkeljohn didn't want to work with you? Maybe because of everything you've done throughout your entire career that eventually he just had enough? Is it too crazy to think maybe he just finally had enough of all the drama, all the suspensions, all the outside problems that John has had? I mean, to a certain extent, I do feel for John a little bit, and I hate saying that, because, it does suck when you train with your partners for 10, 15 years, and then, they're like, all right, we're not working with you anymore. But you have to also self-reflect and realize, okay, I'm not blameless in this situation either. And I just feel that's out of John's reach.
I agree with that. He has taken zero accountability. He just says everything about how fucking everyone. It's always someone else's fault with John.
Yes.
It is what it is with that.
It is what it is.
Zero accountability on his side. But I'm going to play a little bit of devil's advocate, a little bit of devil's avocado here. Michael Winkeljohn, I don't think is a very good person as well. Not only because, yes, he did kind of take the low road with doing this John Jones situations, but I mean, it's understandable, dude. Like you said, how much fucking drama is too much before you just go, I'm done with it.
Yeah.
So I completely understand that, but you have the caveat. This man John's got a point. He has fucking drove so many people away from this gym with gym drama. This gym is constantly surrounded by drama itself, regardless of John Jones. Look at Cowboy. Cowboy hated this man, was talking so much shit about him when he left, and that's why he started his own gym.
Yeah. Well, and Aunt W makes a great point, too. When Greg Jackson gave up control of the gym to Wink, the team immediately fell apart.
Absolutely.
And you've seen that. You've seen that now for a while. And it's disappointing, but, it is what it is. Like, I'm sure John will find, as I said, where is he? He's at the lab now in Phoenix?
No, he's in Arizona, but he's with Triple C's gym. Yeah.
Yeah, Triple C's gym.
C's gym.
Yeah, okay. But nonetheless, I mean, so of course, being the GOAT, or one of the GOATs, I should say, is in John Jones, he'll have no problem finding new training partners. So
yeah. Aunt W, Coach Wink is a douche. Ran off Cowboy, ran off GSP, ran off Jones, ran off John Dodson. Patchy Mix just left Jackson Wink because of Wink 2. Yeah, this gym is fucked, bro. Don't be shocked if you see Holly Holm. Maybe a Karate Hottie, maybe a few other people leave as well. So it is what it is.
Yeah, that's rough.
It is what it is.
All right, let's move on to other MMA news. So news came out that this Nate Diaz-Khamzat Chimaev fight was actually in the works. Dana wanted it to happen. They offered Khamzat Chimaev to Nate Diaz, and Nate Diaz went, nah, bruh. Nah, I'm good off that.
Well, and we all know why. I mean, we'll break it down fast. We've talked about this before, but, Nate Diaz is on his way out of the UFC. We all know that. Nate Diaz is a huge draw. He's a big name. And Dana White does not want him to leave with a win on his record, so why not give him the toughest matchup possible in Khamzat Chimaev? He'll come off a loss and then maybe not make as much money, leaving the UFC, doing a boxing event with the Paul brothers or something to that extent. So I get why Nate Diaz turned this down. I mean, he's no dummy, right?
No, he's not stupid.
Like it's not a big money fight. Nate Diaz is a big money fighter. You could do the trilogy with McNuggets, which I don't think will ever happen now. But what's next for Nate Diaz? He turns this fight down. Who are they going to offer him next?
I have no idea. It's only going to be people like Ponzinibbio, like fucking Vicente Luque, like dudes like that. And he wants to get into a banger for his last fight. He doesn't want to just get taken down and smashed. So that's understandable, I guess. But, of course, he takes this opportunity. When he turned down a fight and he was getting some Twitter, he takes this opportunity to start talking shit to Jake Paul for some fucking reason. And then Jake Paul says some stupid shit. And Nate went back like, dude, you beat wrestlers. You beat a guy who fucking sucks and Ben Askren. And you fucking suck and you're never going to fight a real fighter. And then Ben Askren chirps up and he goes, yeah, I suck at boxing, Nate, but you suck at MMA. I'll get back in the USADA testing pool right now if you want to end this career on this.
Ben Askren is not fighting.
I would love to see that, though. Could you imagine if they go, fuck it, give me 6 months. He does the testing pool, gets into halfway decent shape just to fucking make 170, and then he fights a Nate Diaz for his last fight?
I got to say, though, I mean, as far as a redemption fight, if Ben Askren did go out there and beat Nate Diaz, that's a huge redemption for Ben after that humiliating boxing event against Jake Paul, which we all should have saw. I should have saw. But... that was pretty embarrassing.
Yeah.
For all the shit talk and everything that it is. But, Ben Askren wears it on the chin, no pun intended.
Yeah. And, of course, we got a bunch of fighters putting their name out there for Chimaev. And this one is one that I said was never going to happen. But, he got on Twitter. He started calling him Cum Shot Chimaev. Colby Covington saying he's actually very open to that fight and he would love to end this guy's hype train. Is that the fight they're going to make? Or is this just Gilbert Burns?
So you said Colby.
Colby said he wants that fight now.
I like either one.
Yeah.
I'm not like I'm dead serious. I like either one, guys. I'm totally fine. I wanted the Gilbert Burns matchup. That was one I really wanted to see Khamzat Chimaev get tested with. But if this Jorge Masvidal, Colby Covington coaches of the tough season is not going to happen, then the second best option is a Khamzat Chimaev versus Colby Covington. Sign me up for that. I'm just as excited. Obviously, I'd rather see him match up against Gilbert Burns, and then we have Jorge and Masvidal as tough coaches. But apparently, it doesn't seem like that's going to happen. There's been no word. There's been no talk of it, which is very disappointing as an MMA fan. But,
it is what it is.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And I feel bad for Chimaev. He's talking shit to everybody right now. He's pissed off. He doesn't have a matchup. Eventually it will come. And I hope it's a big one, man. It deserves to be a massive fight on a pay-per-view, probably opening up the card or even a co-main event. I want to see this man fight 5 rounds. Yeah. Can we please give this man a 5-round fight especially if he's going to fight like a potential number 1 contender fight? It needs to be 5 rounds. I want to see this guy's cardio. It might not even go 5 rounds. He might just smash him and finish him in the first, but it doesn't matter. The fact that someone would sign up for a 5-round fight with that, it's extremely interesting. It's a big payday, and I want to see it. Shout out to A&W. This is exactly the problem with one man controlling the narrative over the entire organization. Dana was on TMZ saying every welterweight is scared of Khamzat. I mean, bro. I think these people are just talking on Twitter just to get their name out there, but are they really going to sign the dotted line? So
I think, you know what? Call me crazy. I think Colby would, and I think Gilbert would. Mm-hmm. I think those are the two that legitimately would. Mm-hmm. I do believe that. But outside of that, yeah, I think a lot of people are just chirping, man. Yep. They don't want Chimaev.
Yep. Dana's supposed to be the promoter for every fighter in the organization, but yet he's shitting on every welterweight to build up Chimaev. He sees the cash cow there, dude. He knows he can get that oil money doing main events in fucking Abu Dhabi with this man, and it would fucking make him millions and millions of dollars. So I guess it is what it is. I'm going to push it 9 more times. Let's move on to Let's move on to other MMA news. Pettis KO'd Horiguchi with a insane spinning back fist on Friday night in Bellator.
Bro, that was so sick.
That was crazy.
Like, he landed that spinning back fist in freaking Horiguchi. His arms fell back and he was out. And whatever. Shout out to Sergio Pettis too, because he ran over there and he was going to drop a hammer fist from hell with all of his weight, all of his momentum. He could have caved in that man's face because he was out cold. And he drops that thing about halfway. And he wanted to hit him so fucking bad. And he pulled away. Mm-hmm. And I'm so glad for fighter safety. When someone's out, And a guy like Ngannou does not do that. We've seen that with Ngannou. Guys have been out cold, and he'll drop 2 or 3 more down on someone. You're like, Jesus, Ngannou, come on, know when a guy's out. But so shout out to Pettis for knowing that as well. And what a story.
It was a crazy
for Sergio
fight.
Pettis as well.
It was a crazy fight, dude, because, I mean, he was getting completely outclassed by Horiguchi the entire fight. And then his coach said, hey, bro, you're down. You're going to lose this fucking fight unless you get a finish. Yeah. Shout out to Duke Rufus for being straight up with his fighter instead of going, you're doing great out there, brother. Yeah, you got this, rubbing his back and shit. No, dude, you got to tell your fighter, hey, you need to be urgent out there. And that's exactly what Sergio Pettis did. And he even said, thank you so much for saying that, coach, because if you wouldn't have said that, I probably wouldn't have went out there with the fucking ferocity I did to get that finish. So it is what it is, man. You got to do that kind of stuff. Ant W. Bellator announced the bantamweight tournament. Pettis, Stotts, Magomedov, Mix, Archuleta, Horiguchi, Hugo, Gallagher. Why the fuck is Gallagher in there, bro? Why the fuck is Gallagher in there? It's because Conor McGregor. Oh.
Who the fuck is that guy?
That's what I got to say about Gallagher, man. But yeah, that was my next piece of MMA news. Bellator is announcing this bantamweight tournament. Why are we not doing more tournaments like this, UFC? Come on, please, bro.
No, because they got a different business model, man. That's the thing. They don't want to copy off Bellator. They don't want to give any credit to PFL or Bellator.
Tournaments would be so much fun.
Tournaments would be awesome. I mean, I'm all for tournaments, dude. I think it's a great idea, but I don't want to see an 8-man tournament. But I'd like to see
like a 4-man tournament, or even a
tournament.
6-man tournament, and the number one contender and the champion get a fucking bye or something.
That'd be cool. Yeah. But it'll never happen in the UFC.
No, never will.
It is what it is.
All right, let's move on to our preview show. UFC 269.
Oh, boy.
The final pay-per-view of the year. I cannot think of a better way to finish off these pay-per-view cards. Dude, this card is fucking ridiculous, bro. Ridiculous. Even the prelims are fucking awesome, dude, man.
Jordan Wright, Bruno Silva to start off the prelims. Augusto Sakai versus Tai Tuivasa. Pedro Munoz versus Dominic Cruz.
Oh my goodness.
Josh Emmett versus Dan Ige.
That's just prelims.
This would be a great fight night.
Yes.
That would be a great fight night card. And this is the prelims for UFC 269. Are you kidding me or what? And then you get to the main card. You got Rulian Paiva versus Sugar Sean O'Malley. Kai Kara France versus Cody Garbrandt. Jeff Hands of Steel Neal versus Santiago Ponzinibbio. Amanda Nunez versus Juliana Pena. And then the lightweight championship of the world, Charles Oliveira versus Dustin Poirier. What a card.
I can't wait.
Top to bottom, man.
I can't fucking wait. Let's get into this. We start at the top. As always, main event of the evening for the lightweight championship of the world. Charles Oliveira, Dustin Poirier. Charles Oliveira coming in at plus 135 to a minus 160. Dustin Poirier. Whoo! Are you kind of shocked by this line?
No, I'm actually not. I'm not shocked, but I was initially, but I've really been doing some soul searching. I've really been thinking about this fight and who I was going to go with. Because I just keep going back and forth. But as far as the breakdown's concerned, I'll just give it to you here. Charles Oliveira, an incredible story, and obviously a career that a lot of people thought at one point he would never fight for a belt, kind of the same way with Jan Blachowicz, kind of that story, wins 2 or 3 in a row and then will lose 2. And then you're kind of like, where's Charles in this division? But the stars aligned. It was perfect timing for him with Khabib Nurmagomedov retiring. He was able to get some really essential wins and then fight Michael Chandler for the undisputed lightweight championship of the world. But Dustin Poirier.
But Usman?
Yeah, but Dustin, man. And, for him to take the Conor fights made sense. And I'm not mad at him for it at all. He had to make money. He has to provide for his family. And I think strategically, he made the right move. I think Dustin Poirier goes out there. I just think it's his time. I don't know why I feel this way. I love Charles. And if Charles wins, I'm going to be just as happy for Charles Oliveira because I love him as well. But I just think it's Dustin's time to be the undisputed lightweight champion of the world. Obviously, what was it? UFC 242, I want to say, with Khabib, losing that fight. You could tell it was devastating for Dustin. He wanted to taste that gold so bad. I mean, the true undisputed gold, obviously, it's different than being an IC. But I don't know, man. I just think Dustin is great. I think his stand-up is phenomenal. Obviously, Michael Chandler caught Charles in that first round, too. You thought maybe Michael was going to finish the fight, but I don't think Dustin gives him any room. I don't think he gives him any room. And if Dustin knows he's hurt, he's going to go for the finish. I think, obviously, Charles Oliveira, his jiu-jitsu is top-notch. I think if Dustin gets on his back, he's going to have a lot of problems. But I think Dustin on top, dude, is just as dominant. Dustin's one of the most well-rounded fighters in the UFC, in my opinion. And I think his top pressure is really good. He gets side control or something. It's going to be hard for Charles to get out of that. I just see Dustin Poirier winning this fight, man. And I went back and forth. I told you last week I was going to have Charles. I was going to pick Charles. But I don't know. I feel something. I feel like it's finally time for Dustin to be the undisputed champ.
Mm-hmm. That's what I was saying with the first Conor McGregor-Dustin Poirier fight. I was saying I feel like Conor is just, the mystique might be back. And I was wrong.
Yeah.
I was wrong. I don't know, man. I don't know. The way Dustin and Conor were very competitive on the feet until he got the finish, obviously. And Charles almost got finished by Michael Chandler on the feet and then came out, stunned him, and finished him off. Dude, this is a pick'em fight. I am shocked that the line is not closer. I know it's decently close, 160 to 135, but I mean, still, bro, like, this should be a pick'em fight, a coin fucking flip. You're right.
What does that show you about, what does that show you about Vegas, right?
They're kind of biased.
Well, Charles still the underdog. They're still counting him out. Mm-hmm. He's a champion, man. And they're still counting this guy out. That has historically been his career, right? So I think that's why the lines are a little bit wider than we would assume.
Yeah. Yeah, it's super hard to pick this fight, dude. I mean, because it's a fantastic matchup on the feet. I'm not going to count out Oliveira on the feet. He can beat Dustin Poirier. But, I mean, the edge is there with Poirier. I think he's got more power. I think he's got cleaner boxing. I think he could definitely mix things up. And he hit massive power shots and put Oliveira out. He can knock him out, man. Yeah. That thug jitsu is insane. He's so good and crisp on the feet. Man, I don't know who to pick in this fucking fight, bro. Because if it goes down to the ground, I see Oliveira submitting Dustin. I know how good Dustin is on the ground, especially if Dustin ends up on top. But it doesn't matter, man. This man has more submissions in the UFC than anyone else. This man is an absolute fucking phenom on the ground. And if Oliveira gets on top, he's not going to let Poirier get back up.
No.
I don't see Poirier getting back up if he's on bottom, dude. I think
that's
Charles
what I was
can grind
too.
him out.
Absolutely. I totally agree with that. And again, Charles is a phenomenal jiu-jitsu practitioner, and I think Dustin's got a lot to work, or not a lot to work with if Charles gets him in a compromised position. But man, I don't know. Like, this is what I do. If you're a betting man, this is the way to do it. Don't bet on the fight. Don't bet on a winner and loser. You make 2 prop bets. Here are the prop bets. You ready? And I'm not a financial advisor. First one, Dustin by KO. I do that prop bet, and then I do Charles by submission. Those are the 2 prop bets. Those are the only 2 bets I would make on this fight.
Yeah, it's just too hard to pick, dude. I mean, if it stays on the feet, I don't know. Dustin, maybe. If it goes down to the ground, I don't know. Charles, maybe. Like, that's what it is, dude. Yeah. I don't know who wins this fight. I'm very excited to see what happens, dude. I'm not counting out Charles, especially on the feet. I'm not counting out Dustin, especially on the ground. I just can't wait. Can this be Saturday already, please?
I know.
I just want to watch it. I just want to see who wins. I just love this lightweight division. I wouldn't be surprised if these men end up fighting 3 times.
Yeah. And again, guys, Fight Companion, UFC 269. We're going to have 6 people on the Fight Companion. Could turn to a bit of a shit show. We got me and Tabor. Devin's going to be on. Cash Krause from the Have You Seen a Podcast will be here. My wife, Mary, and...
my little brother.
Yes, and Steely, the Marine, will be on. Tabor's brother. So we're going to have a full show, full Fight Companion. It's going to be a lot of fun.
It's going to be a lot of fun, guys. Make sure you subscribe if you haven't already to watch that Church Coin picks. Before we get the picks, dude, do you want me to give you some Church Coin?
I don't want you to give it to me. I want to earn a Church Coin.
Okay, so I'll give you 8,000 Church Coin right now.
How about this? Because I don't want you. Let's do it this way, okay? Because I don't want you to give me your Church Coin because I don't want to do it that way. But like,
how about you just
for
buy
a
in?
Buy-in. Yeah, but I don't want to affect your Church Coin because then that takes away, and I don't want it to be like sketchy or anything. Like if I were to somehow get close, yeah, I don't want to do that.
Okay, then do you just want to get buy-in somehow with 8,000 so you have
sure?
A little bit more betting room?
You set the rules though, so go ahead. What
All
do
right,
I got to do?
Either you get a T-shirt for Patreon, which is $20, or you just do a shoey. How about that? You got to do a shoey.
Fair. Shoeys are $20 for super
chats. How about
this?
Either you buy a T-shirt or you do a shoey to start the show off next week. So early shoey.
Okay, fuck it. I'll do a shoey.
Let's go.
I'll do a shoey to start out UFC 269 fight companion, boys.
Let's go. All right, you get 8,000 more church coins, so that'll just bring your total up to a little over 10,000. So go ahead and you can do that math.
Okay,
I'll start off with a pick while you do this. Man, this is a very difficult fucking fight for me to pick, guys, especially with the lines. I don't know who. I've reserved my right to change my pick, especially on the fight companion. We will do it before the fight ends if I end up doing that. 2,000 church coin on Charles Oliveira. I think he's going to get the submission. I think especially if he lands on top, he can get the triangle. Even if he's on bottom, he can get a triangle. He can get an arm bar. He's going to be a very, very dangerous fighter on the ground. Poirier will respect that. If Poirier, I think, is going to avoid the ground because I do believe, especially in his mind, he's the better striker. Yeah. But you never know. He might even think he's the better fighter overall. And I wouldn't be shocked if he completely dominated Oliveira on the ground. I mean, Oliveira did get submitted by Paul Felder. That was his last loss. And ever since then, he's been a different fighter. But still, you know, you got to take that into consideration. But Charles Oliveira, 2,000 church coin. I want to put more on. Trust me, I really want to put more church coin on this fight. But it's just this is the one that I don't know if I can. I know it's just so you just don't know either way, and that's the same with me. I only have 10,000. I got half of what Tabor has now because I will be doing a shoey to open up UFC 269. For me, man, the most I can put on Poirier is 750 church coin. I just think he'll win this fight, but again, Charles can definitely do it. He is the undisputed lightweight champion of the world. It's going to be a phenomenal matchup. I'm very excited. 750 church coin and a minus 160 for Dustin Poirier. All right, Ant W, shout out to you real quick. It's a hard fight to call, but my gut is telling me Oliveira by submission. Yeah, it's a very extremely hard fight to call. But let's get into the main event, or the co-main event. Amanda Nunez coming in at minus 800 to... Really quick, sorry. Minus 800. Holy shit. What a line. What a line. I was going to say, Amanda's a plus 800 all in. Minus 800. Taking out a third mortgage, a second and third mortgage, laying it all down. Yeah, minus 800 to a plus 550 Juliana Pena. This is going to be the easiest fucking fight to break down. Amanda Nunez, I'm going to put 1,000. I'll just put, how about this? I'll put 8,000 church coin on Amanda Nunez. Yeah, and I just want to make this segment 1 minute long because I don't want to disrespect the greatest women fighter in the sports history. But we all know what our choice is here. We all know who we're betting on. It's Amanda Nunez, the bantamweight champion of the world, the featherweight champion of the world, the most dominant UFC champion. I mean, guys, like, I feel bad. We should give the champ more respect. We should talk about her more. But everyone knows the deal. Amanda Nunez is the best. The best. She is the GOAT. And no one will dethrone her. She will have to retire with both of those belts. And she is undisputed greatest women's fighter ever. So we love you, Amanda. I'm sorry we don't spend more time on you, but that's how confident we are. Yeah. The Venezuelan vixen, man, you can't count her out on the ground. I mean, that's what she does. She out wrestles girls and takes them down and beats them up, but she's not taking Amanda Nunez down. Like, no offense to you. Well, and if she does, Amanda's not going to lose a fight that way. Like, I don't see her taking her down 5 rounds. Yeah, could Juliana Pena take her down for a round and us being like, whoa, that is very possible. But you got to do that for 5 rounds. You're not going to outstrike Amanda. Yeah. And then you got to have, you can't allow Amanda Nunez to scramble to get back to her feet. I just think it's unrealistic. Yeah. I don't think realistically Juliana Pena is going to be able to do that for 3 out of the 5 rounds. It's impossible. Yeah. So again, Amanda Nunez, man. All right. But Nunez. I'm putting 100 church coin on Amanda Nunez, just with the odds so astronomical. It's just like, what do I do? Ant W, they need to keep Amanda and Valentina off of pay-per-views until they find them some competition. Those fights are not pay-per-view quality. Yeah. It's a belt, you know? Yeah, it's a belt. It's a belt, and like, what are we gonna do? Are we gonna punish fighters for being too good in the UFC? Like, we can't do that. And here's the thing. I love watching Valentina Shevchenko and I love watching Amanda Nunez because they're so dominant. It's a spectacle, the same way where people would buy a pay-per-view to watch Mike Tyson knock some guy out in 30 seconds. Like, it's again, I go back to it. It's a spectacle. It's an insane thing that you don't get to see very much in sports, having a fighter be this dominant. Like, you got to respect it. You got to understand it. And you got to appreciate these moments before they're gone forever. Because you're going to look back on Amanda Nunez's career and Valentina Shevchenko's career and go, wow, I lived through one of the greatest eras in women's combat sports history, man. You know, so I think it is still pay-per-view worthy, and this is a fight that I'm still excited for, even though Amanda Nunez will win. Yep. It's just, you know, she's that good. Yep. It just, you know. It is what it is. All right, let's move on to the next fight. Jeff Hands of Steel Neal coming in at minus 110 to a minus 110. Santiago Ponzinibbio, fucking banger. Banger, banger, banger all day. Someone's going to sleep. Who will it be, Mason?
I got to be honest here. Santiago Ponzinibbio, Jeff Hands of Steel, Neal. I like Jeff Neal here, man. If I'm being honest, I just think Jeff has got more power in his hands. He's electric. I know he did lose to Neil Magny. I was actually kind of a little surprised about that. But Ponzinibbio also with that really impressive bounce back win after losing to Li Jingliang, came back and beat Miguel Baeza, which he was the
Who the fuck is that guy?
award to start out 2021. I had a lot of hype behind Miguel Baeza, and the way Ponzinibbio was able to beat him was very impressive. I keep going back and forth here, but I gotta go with Jeff Hands of Steel Neal for the win, man. I mean, how do you see this one shaking out?
Yeah, violence, bro. They're just going to swing. They're going to fucking bang. Who's a little more technical? I think Ponzinibbio might be a little more technical than Neal. Neal has struggled with really technical fighters as of late, so Ponzinibbio's success is probably to let Neal march forward and land massive counter shots, which he absolutely can. I mean, like you just said, Miguel Baeza, that was a fantastic fight. That was a fantastic matchup, and Ponzinibbio showed the fuck out in that fight. So I'm actually leaning Ponzinibbio here. I like Ponzinibbio in this fight. I think he's going to probably get the knockout. I'm saying first or second round knockout, Ponzinibbio. I think he's going to be cleaner. I think he's going to land the counter hooks, and I think it's going to be enough to put Neal down, which we haven't really seen. I don't think we've seen anybody KO Neal, but this might be the first time, man. And Neal has got so much power as well. Would I be shocked if he KO'd Ponzinibbio? Would I be shocked if I lose my church coin here? No. This is a pick'em fight for a fucking reason, guys. There's a reason why they're both a -110. Someone's going to sleep. I cannot wait to watch this fight. It will be a banger. Possible fight of the night. Possible fight of the year contender. Fuck it. If they swing and bang for 3 straight rounds, fuck, I'd love to see it. But I don't think that's going to happen.
Yeah. So I'm going to put 500 church coin, the opposite here. Jeff Hands of Steel Neal, as you just said, it's a pick 'em. Could go either way, but I just think, obviously both these guys throw with malice. Both guys can finish each other, but I just think Neal's going to catch him, and I like the bounce back for him. So Jeff Neal, 500 church coin at a -110.
All right, let's move on to the next fight. Kai Kara France coming in at a +120 to a -140. Cody Garbrandt. Cody Garbrandt making his flyweight debut here. A lot of people are saying this might be Cody Garbrandt's actual legitimate division here.
Yeah.
Weight division here, because he didn't really cut a whole lot of weight to 135, but that was where he had his speed advantage. That was where he had his power as well. He didn't have to kill himself making weight. I'm interested to see how this weight cut goes. If it's a bad weight cut, I reserve my right to change my pick. If it's a bad weight cut, I might take France. Cody Garbrandt, as of late, he has so much power. He did knock out Rafael Assunção in that fight. But, I mean, then look at the destruction that Rob Font put on him. He hasn't been the same, man. He hasn't been the same. I think it might be a little bit of a mental barrier there. I'm interested to see how this goes at 125. I'm going to take Garbrandt. I'm going to put 500 church coin on him. I think he's the better fighter. I think he's the better boxer. I think he has more power. Does this weight cut affect him? That's really my only asterisk to this. But I'm interested to see. I'm taking Garbrandt.
Do you think Cody Garbrandt might be a little different because of him getting sick and the after effects of that?
Yeah.
Maybe.
I think that definitely could be a
thing.
possibility.
So his endurance and whatnot.
Yeah. Well, yeah, because
That's a great point.
Yeah, it is a good point, man. And you did, unfortunately, for Cody Garbrandt, you did kind of see that in his last fight. But as you said, I think flyweight's his right weight division. I'm very excited to see what he can do in this flyweight division. And obviously, former champ, beat Dominic Cruz at bantamweight. That fight was phenomenal. I remember watching that. Ironically enough, that was the last time I ever went to a Hooters restaurant. If anyone knows what that is.
Mary's not listening.
No, yeah, she don't give a shit. But I remember that fight and just being like, because Dominic Cruz was the man. His footwork's just insane. He's got that very unorthodox, weird, stand right in front of you style, which is really just odd. And Cody was just dodging punches like he was in the Matrix. And I was like, damn, we got a new superstar. And obviously dealing with the 2 TJ fights, the Pedro Munoz loss, he was kind of able to bounce back, but flyweight's his division. I love Cody Garbrandt. I think he's a great fighter, and I think he's a great human being. And this is a guy I always just root for. So I'm going to go Cody Garbrandt here. I'm going to put, let's go 750 on Garbrandt.
All right. So let's move on to the next fight. The opening fight of the main card. Julian Paiva coming in at a +250 to a -310. Sugar Sean O'Malley. This is a fucking fantastic matchup, dude. I cannot wait to see these two, how it works out on the feet. Paeva's no fucking joke. So many people he's fighting O'Malley. He's going to lose. He's fighting O'Malley. He's going to lose. O'Malley's the best. O'Malley's undefeated. But but I mean, come on, bro. This guy is fucking legit. He flatlined a lot of people coming into this. He beat a guy in Kyler fucking Phillips that was coming up that a lot of people had a lot of hype behind. Thought he was going to be a top contender one day. This is a fantastic matchup. This is probably the most competitive matchup Sugar Sean has been in other than the Cheeto Vera fight, man. And I cannot wait to see what happens. I am leaning O'Malley, though, in this fight. I think he's a better striker. I hope this goes down to the ground, honestly, actually. I really want to see Sugar Sean O'Malley's ground game. He's touted his ground game for a very long time, said it's super developed. I believe he's a purple belt now. I really want to test his ground game because Paeva's fantastic. He's a very well-rounded fighter. I want to see them grapple. I want to see them fucking scrapple.
I like the scrapple.
It's because they're going to fight too. Yeah. It's a fight. They're going to punch each other in the face. They're going to scrapple. I can't wait to see what happens. I'm going Sugar Sean O'Malley. I'm going to put 3,100 church coin on him for a easy 1,000 church coin return if he wins. So in this fight, man, I wouldn't be shocked if either man won. I like Paeva in this fight as well, but I just think Sugar's striking it's too clean. It's just too clean. I think it's going to be a little bit too much.
Well, Paeva, I think the best decision he made in his career is actually to move up a weight class to bantamweight. Since, Marco De La Rosa, Zuglas Zumagulov, and then Kyler Phillips. I think I was most shocked about Kyler Phillips. I didn't give Paeva a chance in that fight. Kyler Phillips was on the radar for me, and he went out there and won in a very impressive decision win. I love Rulian Paeva here. I think Sugar Sean O'Malley's a little overrated. I'm just going to be honest. I think there's too much of a hype train. He hasn't fought real tough competition. No disrespect to Smolka, who just lost this week, which he was supposed to fight, or that what was the green-haired kid's name?
Yeah,
I feel bad. Yeah. But he deserves to get recognition because he took a beating, I guess. But again, he took that fight on short notice. I'm going 8,000 church coin on Rulian Paeva. I think he's going to shock the world. I think he's going to flatline Sean O'Malley. I think they're going to have to scrape him off the pavement.
I don't know about that.
Watch it. I can't wait for this Saturday, guys, because they're going to scrape that boy off the pavement. It's going to be a problem.
All right.
I got
church
Paeva.
coin champ. We're just settling it right.
8,000 church coin. Yep, I guess so.
Shout out to Maggle. Paeva is mad hittable, though. Shouldn't have gotten a decision against Kyler. It was a draw because he got dropped 3 times in the first round. Good point. Ant W size is going to play a factor. Paeva can make 125, and Sean is the guy that won't be at 135 that much longer. He's a legitimate 145 or 100%. That's a great fucking
Chris
point
Mutino is the guy.
Chris Mutino.
Yeah, that's right.
Thank you.
Shout out to him.
Shout out to him, my guy. That man could take damage like no fucking other.
Can.
All right. Last fight on the main card. The prelims. Prelim main event. Josh Emmett coming in at -170 to +145. Dan Ige. This is a fucking awesome matchup. A little bit disrespectful to Josh Emmett. Some people think he deserves a top 5 guy. And, it is what it is.
It is what it is.
Not a whole lot of top 5 guys are fighting right now. They all want to fight each other for number 1 contenders and stuff like that. So it's probably hard to give this man a matchup. Thank goodness someone said yes and Dan Ige. This is a fantastic matchup, dude. These guys on the feet, they're going to bang. It's going to be technical. Josh Emmett has so much power. If he could, without a doubt, flatline Dan Ige. But Dan Ige, he's got a fantastic chin. He went to war with Edson Barboza. I know a lot of people thought Barboza won that fight. A lot of people thought he got robbed there. But he still went to war with a man that not a lot of people want to fight right now. And now he's taking another one. And this could be a fight of the year contender. I cannot wait to see this fight. Dan Ige is my boy. I am his dick rider. I'm just a big fan. He's an awesome guy. Super great story as well. He's one of Ali's right-hand man, so he's got a great background there. If the fighting career doesn't work out, he's going to be successful either way. I like Dan Ige a lot. I'm a big fan of his. I usually take him every single time, but this is the one matchup where I'm like, fuck, it's going to be real rough and hard to beat Emmett, man. Emmett's finally coming off of that ACL surgery. Tore his ACL against Shane Burgos last year. Very excited to see this matchup. Fuck it. I'm just going to put 100 church coin on Ige. Why not?
All right. Yeah, Josh Emmett's one of those guys that I do feel bad for because I feel like he's had some pretty horrific injuries in his career. Remember his face getting caved in. He had to have surgery on his face.
Yep, and almost ruined his career against, who was that? That was, who was that did that? He fought Calvin Cater. He fought.
Qatar,
No, it wasn't Cater.
Jeremy Stevens.
Jeremy Stevens.
Jeremy
Yes. Gosh,
Stevens.
why are we forgetting his name?
I know. I don't know why. Well,
So
because
stupid.
Connor.
Who the fuck is that guy?
Good call back there.
Oh, yeah.
No, but with Josh Emmett, he's one of those guys I just feel bad for. Face getting caved in, had to have surgery, and then he goes on a run and then blows out his ACL against Shane Burgos. Had to go through surgery, had a long layoff. But I love Josh Emmett here. This guy throws. He's got so much power in his hands. I know you love Dan Ige, Tabor, and I always tend to bet against Dan Ige for whatever reason because he's also a phenomenal fighter, and I love watching Ige fight. But I like the value to minus 170 for Josh Emmett. I'm going to lay the rest of my church coin, 629 church coin, on Emmett for the win.
All right. Another one, Mason. We did it. We're here at the end.
Absolutely.
Guys, Fight Companion. This next weekend, we will be going live. I think we're going to go live for this Emmett Ige fight. Why not?
Absolutely.
Yeah, so we'll be live right at the end of the prelims, guys.
We need to go live for Dominic Cruz as
Okay,
well.
we can do that one too.
Yeah,
We can go do that one too. So we'll go live for the Cruz fight. We'll go live for the Emmett fight.
Well, okay, so hold on. If I'm going to start off the 269 with a shoey, we might want to do the fight before that, because guess who that is?
Who's that?
The shoey man himself,
Oh, no.
Tai Tuivasa. We have to put some respect on his name. Tabor, I think that's the most appropriate thing to do. I know you don't like the long fight companions, but this is the end of the year card. We got to do it.
You got to go out with a bang.
As soon as Tai Tuivasa's fight is about to get started, I will do the shoey to start off the fight companion.
That's
269.
a great idea. That's a great idea. And
we have to.
If we have to pick those fights, we'll pick them then. I don't want to just try to look stuff up right now. I'm about to piss my pants. But I'm very excited for this weekend, guys. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. We will be live for that. We will also be doing the call-in shows after all the fight companions. Dude, we had so much fun with the call-in show at the end of the last one yesterday. It was a lot of fun. Shout out to Ant W for showing up there, my guy. Shout out to Logan Knight for showing up there. And also shout out to, as always, Cosmo Reaver, my guy. We appreciate you, the hell out of you guys. It was so much fun talking fights with you. And hopefully that's a thing that we do week in and week out.
Look forward to talking to you guys after 269 as well. Hopefully Ant W can call in again, man. I really enjoyed our conversation. So
yeah, it was awesome, dude. The guy's very knowledgeable about the sport.
Yes,
so shout out to you. Also, shout out to the Mantuary podcast. They were here last night for the Fight Opinion. They had so much fun last night, guys. If you haven't checked that out, go check it out. It was the inaugural Super Chat Wheel podcast. We had so much fun, dude.
We did.
So
too much fun. Go check out the vlog too. We just dropped it on our channel. It's about 13 minutes, but after that 2-minute mark, I guarantee you guys will pretty much be laughing throughout the whole thing.
Yeah, it was a blast, man. It was a great one. And that's something that we're also going to start doing during all the Fight Companions. We'll have a better quality video with all like the challenges and stuff like that through our vlog. Yep. And the unedited version of that, guys, will be posted to our Patreon. $5 a month gives you so much exclusive content, exclusive vlogs, exclusive Second Service podcast, and exclusive longer form discussion call-in shows as well. So you want to call into the podcast, talk about anything, world politics, world events, big C, little V, conspiracy theories, life in general, anything you guys want to talk about, longer form discussions there for the call-in shows. Make sure you subscribe. You will be sainted. You'll be anointed as a saint. And also, guys, last thing I got to shill is our Discord server. I will drop this into the chat while we're ending this show. Guys, if you want to join the Discord server, that is where all of our call-in shows are run through. It's a great platform. Just join the server, and if you're online and you could just hit us up in the general, or I even added a new chat. It'll be call-in show setups. Get in that chat if you guys want to call in, and we will go down the list. And we try to keep those call-ins after the Fight Companions fairly short, maybe 5 minutes probably tops. Last night we went a little bit longer with Ant just because like that man was just dropping knowledge left and right. Like so that conversation went a little bit longer, but it's a lot of fun. So guys, join the Discord server. I just dropped that down in the chat. That link will not expire. So if you're listening to this at a later date, feel free to use that link as well. The link is also on our community page on our YouTube and possibly also our it might be in the description below. We'll make sure it gets down there as well, or even in a pinned comment or something like that, guys. So thank you so much to everybody that super chatted last night. Shout out to you, Devin, in the corner. Thank you so much, man. You were at the top of the board, even though we did do the conversion rate for Cosmo, and I think he beat you by about $20.
That's blasphemy. All that matters is US. USA.
Yeah, let's go. America, fuck yeah! Yeah, let's go. All right, let's end it. Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, at the Church of MMA. Guys, if you aren't following us already, make sure you go and do it. We're posting funny memes, trying to make you guys laugh. Hit us up.
Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Soundcloud, Stitcher. You guys know the deal. You guys can find us anywhere podcast platforms are available. This is the Church of MMA podcast. My name is Mason Knight. That's Tabor Cragen. Devin Davis over there. Hit the ones and twos. And until next time,
peace.